Okay, so for those of us that love Netflix and we're hoping to wait out the acting and writer strike here in America by watching our most beloved K-dramas on the streaming platform, well, our K-dramas might also not be safe from a acting strike as well. And here's why. So the SAG-AFTRA, or Screen Actors Guild, and the WGA Writers Guild of America are currently striking and have been for the last 100 days around several key points. One being disagreement over streaming residuals and regulation of self-tape auditions, studio usage of artificial intelligence to scan actors' faces and generate performances digitally. But the key point of one of those is streaming residuals. So residuals are key to any actor or any artist platform that works in television and broadcasting, because it holds you over. So in between gigs, every time a show is re-aired, the actors get a percentage or a residual from the re-airing or rebroadcasting of that show. So for instance, if you were a day player on ER or Friends, you still, from the re-airing and the reruns of those shows, were able to make a bit of money to hold you over until the next gig. That was kind of the key point behind that creation. Well, since a lot of network shows have now moved to having streaming platforms which host and where a lot of folks can go to re-watch those shows, it has cut into the amount of residuals that actors are able to get. And because a lot of those streaming platforms, Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, are not being transparent around the streams that certain shows are getting, it limits the amount of residuals actors can ask for in compensation for fairness for the amount of work that they've done. Now, let's go over to South Korea. So where we can see this hugely, especially from the Writers Guild, is Squid Game director is getting no residuals at all for the huge success that was Squid Game. Now, mind you, Squid Game made over 900, let me say that one more time with my chest, $900 million for Netflix. And they're scheduled to have a much and highly anticipated sequel. They've already announced who the cast is, right? But the creator ain't make no residuals, like none. And it's crazy. So Hwang Dong-hyuk, who has not received any additional compensation other than what he was initially paid for a show that got them an Emmy. The show got them an Emmy. And he's made no additional money, and he's still working with them. So Vulture reports that the Korea Broadcasting Actors Union is attempting to meet with Netflix. And so they're attempting to meet with them regarding the key issue that I mentioned from SAG of residuals. So day actors or walk-on actors or one-liners that are not key actors in a show usually get a bit of money, but in Korea, that's not what's happening. According to the Vulture article, so the Korean Union president, Song Chang-gong, states that supporting actors, so not the key stars, earn less working on Netflix series than that on Korean networks because they are paid per episode for fewer episodes, despite it being far more labor intensive and taking longer to shoot. So with that being said, they're making about $300 a day with no hope of residuals or per diems for several days of unpaid work for these elaborate shoots with no hopes of, again, residuals, which are key for actors, which is something that's guaranteed here in America for actors as a part of our union. Well, I'm not an actor, but a part of the UN contracts over here. Netflix's argument behind this is that they are not a broadcasting company, but a streaming service. Well, considering that they produce original content and are now getting Emmys, I don't know how much longer that argument can hold out. And considering that Netflix revealed in January that 60% of its audience consumed South Korean films and series with 56 original productions, so y'all just a streaming service, but y'all got original productions, they have a lot to gain by continuing this relationship. So while they're still negotiating over here in America, begrudgingly, here's hoping that Netflix also realizes that it also needs to do right and equitably by its international affiliates as well, and goes to the table with the South Korean Broadcasting Actors Union, because as of right now, it's being reported that they have not met with them. But Here's hoping that everybody gets their fair pay and we get our shows.